Have your complete forecast coming up. KC24 News at 6:30 starts right now.
Local news that matters. This is KC24 News at 6:30.
Clovis Unified ditching the mask mandate for its students and staff. This as the state continues to have their mask mandate.
Just said another freeze on tap for tonight, and Valley farmers are doing what they can to keep their crops protected. Good evening. I'm Stephanie Barugian. Thank you for joining us.
And I'm Alexander Balaki, and we begin with a developing story tonight where Clovis Unified School District is now ending their mask mandate for students and staff on campus. It is in effect immediately. The decision was made during a special school board meeting this afternoon. Our Juanita Adame live at the district office with more on the board's decision to no longer follow the state mask mandate for schools. Juanita.
That's right. And that meeting ended at about 4 o'clock this afternoon with a unanimous vote to end that mask mandate. The board voted to end the mask mandate, and there is now what they're calling a mask requirement through education instead of enforcement. This means that teachers will decide what is best for their students, and the board said they will back that teacher on their decision. Board member Steve Fogg told the staff it's been a horrible 2 years for students. He said the mask wearing has set them back emotionally, and they want this to be the beginning of the end of this mask mandate for their students. The parents that we talked to today were also equally as excited about this change.
I feel amazing, honestly. My kids have suffered quite a bit from this. You know, like I was telling you, the first semester they were put on independent study because they wouldn't wear a mask, and then when their independent study ran out, they were then removed from their volleyball teams, and they live volleyball.
Now, a total of 19 parents spoke today during the meeting. Some who said they sent their kids to school unmasked and had their students separated, moved into multi-purpose rooms and libraries away from the students who were masked. Now, California Health and Human Services Director Mark Ghaly is expected to weigh in on this issue on Monday, which may negate tonight's vote, this mask mandate vote that happened today. So live here in Clovis, Juanita Adame, KC24, local news that matters.
Thank you, Juanita. Valley farmers preparing for a freeze tonight, and experts say it is unusual to have freeze warnings this late in the season. Natalie Vera checked in with a citrus farmer and has a closer look now at how local crops are impacted.
This morning we ran wind machines for about an hour and a couple of them, and then it warmed up, so we turned everything off.
Robert McKellar owns this citrus farm in Tulare County. He's gearing up for another cold night.
The thing that affects the fruit more than anything else is when it gets cold, the length of time. Well, today it's cold, and tonight it's going to be, the fruit will already be cold.
Water on cold nights like these, because of rain last night, the farmer here will not be going with this method. So he is going to be using his wind machines tonight. He tells me he has one wind machine per 10 acres.
Here in the San Joaquin Valley, the cold air settles to the ground, and so at about 30 feet, the warm air is above that.
The wind machine pulls the warm air down and spreads it out through the orchard, raising the temperature 2 to 5 degrees, and that can make all the difference.
So say if it gets down to 28 by midnight, we'll have 6-7 hours of 28-degree weather, and we'll be running all of our wind machines.
McKellar says it's unusual to get these low temps this time of year.
November, December, first couple of weeks in January, but very seldom do we have this kind of weather in February.
He says protecting his crop is expensive.
We burn a lot of propane in a night.
But this farmer is hopeful he won't have too much of a problem.
Navel oranges particularly get, this time of year, have a lot of sugar in them. And the more sugar they have in them, the less they're likely to freeze.
Reporting in Ivanhoe, Natalie Vera, KC24, local news that matters.
And Valley residents are bracing for this cold snap by cranking up the heater, and it comes at a hefty price with another rate hike. PG&E says customers who see a higher gas bill this winter can blame it on increasing gas prices. The increase also due to rate hikes, according to data provided by the city of Fresno. PG&E baseline rates across the state increased by 85% from the period of 2009 to 2019 and 22% in 2022. Mayor Jerry Dyer says this rate hike puts people in tough spots.
Our people cannot afford to continue to absorb these types of increases, and to take some compassion on these people who are really having to make some difficult decisions. And that is, do I pay PG&E or do I pay for food?
Utility companies say the best way to save during this time is to install LED lighting, close your windows and doors, and turn down the thermostat when you're not home.
Valley Ag taking another hit. The Bureau of Reclamation today announcing most irrigation districts in the Central Valley will have no water allocations to start the year. Esteban Reynoso with the story.
Tuesday's rainfall not enough to make a dent in California's drought.
I think we can all agree that this will be a difficult year unless we receive substantial rainfall in the coming months.
The Central Valley Project dictates where federal water goes, and they say this year farmers in the Westlands Water District will not receive any water and must rely on groundwater or other sources.
Thus far, January and February, which are two of our wettest months, have been the driest on record.
Kristen White of the Bureau of Reclamation says these past 2 months broke the record set back in 2013 for lowest precipitation.
I'd say our storage up in the Shasta and Trinity reservoirs is lower than it was at this point last year. But now we are without any much precip at all in January and February. We were certainly dropping.
Manuel Cunha with the Nisei Farmers League says the allocation is frustrating.
That's really disappointing because those are the people, these are the communities, the 47 different towns in this valley that do all of the agricultural work. So when you don't have that allocation, the impact is huge.
Local farmer Joe Del Bosque says if things don't change soon, he'll need to find an alternative.
When we don't have an adequate water supply, we cut back our crops. You know, we're going to have to cut back somewhere. Last year we cut back. We actually cut out 2 crops. So there are like about 70 jobs eliminated right there that are not going to come back this year.
In Fresno, Esteban Reynoso, KC24 Local News that matters.
At the state capitol today, crime victims and their families pushing lawmakers for more public safety solutions, especially with some crimes rising during the pandemic. They rallied at the state capitol demanding better investments in community crime prevention, efforts, and resources for healing victims. Our Ashley Zavala with the story.
A vigil outside the state capitol commemorating victims of crime. The vigil, part of a rally Wednesday organized by a network of surviving loved ones of those lost to violence. Demanding California lawmakers boost resources for crime victims and invest in local groups outside of law enforcement to help prevent crime.
Tired of over-relying on policing and the criminal justice system to keep us safe. That is lazy and disingenuous. We're here to make sure that the state and decision makers in every city know that we are no longer carrying the burden of your failure while we fight to live and survive.
This rally comes as recent polling shows the majority of California voters are concerned about crime in this state. Crime will be a focal point in the upcoming election, including the state attorney general's race, where Governor Newsom's appointee Rob Bonta will try to keep his seat.
It's going to take all of us.
Bonta at Wednesday's event said his office is focused on prioritizing community-based approaches to disrupt cycles of violence and crime.
Community-led intervention and rehabilitation is a vital part of public safety. That's something we've known, and it's something that has become painfully more obvious.
The Attorney General, joined by a few other lawmakers, pledging to provide change and resources. State Senator Nancy Skinner announced a bill that would boost compensation and resources for crime victims and also expand access to those resources for those falsely accused of crimes.
Every single crime victim deserves and needs support.
The group says the time is now for state lawmakers to invest in community groups that help prevent crime.
Crime, murder in particular, homicide is on the rise. We are in crisis. We have gathered at table after table, and it's no more sitting down. We know what's needed because we are in the community hearing from those who are severely impacted.
At the state capitol, Ashley Zavala, KC24 Local News that matters.
And still to come on KC24 News at 6:30, the story of a Clovis woman who was very ill but beat the odds.
Her message to the doctors who saved her life.
Your other headlines for tonight: the freeze warning has been extended to Saturday. Clear skies between now and then. The afternoons under those clear skies will get warmer, and that includes next week. We're going back into the 70s. Your 4-day allergy forecast brought to you by Boz Allergy will be in the medium and then high range through the weekend. Alder, juniper, and poplar are the predominant pollens. I'll have your complete forecast as KC24 News continues.
This is KC24 News at 6:30 with Alexon Valakian, Stephanie Barugian, and the certified most accurate forecast with AMS certified Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox. Your local weather authority, KC24, local news that matters.
I see on KC stories of everyday people making a big difference. A community of local healthcare advocates committed to fighters in Central Valley. In fighters, I see courage. And in supporters, I see compassion. In survivors, I see grace and dignity. I see what matters. I see local stories making an impact. And I invite you to see it all here every day on KC24 News.
If ag is your business, Pickett Solar can save you money and help you gain energy independence.
So here at Fowler Packing, we're firm believers in reinvesting into the company, and solar was one of the greatest investments we've made. And now with and many other aspects of our company, it was a very seamless process. Pickett Solar made it easy for us.
Call for a free cost-saving analysis and put the power of the sun to work for you. Pickett Solar.
Fresno, Madera, and Merced counties are in urgent need of loving homes for children in foster care. If you've considered fostering a child, Promesa Behavioral Health is here for you with 24-hour support, training, and financial reimbursement. Promesa treats foster parents and children like family, and families always there for one another. Be there for a child in need. Promesa Behavioral Health will be there for you.
We're in this together.
Call 559-439-KIDS or go to promesabehavioral.org.
Richie Gamblé here, and it's Tachi Palace Casino Resort's 267K Lucky Lantern Money Tree Virtual Drawing. This February, Premier Club members will get the chance to win $20K every Friday. From 6 to 10 p.m., 2 winners will be virtually drawn to choose a lantern from the Money Tree. Earn entries for every 100 points earned on slots and tables. More swiping, more earning with 267K Lucky Lantern Money Tree Virtual Drawing. Only at Tachi Palace Casino Resort in Lemoore.
Stay connected with local news that matters most. Instantly accessible at yourcentralvalley.com with the latest stories in your community and your local weather authority forecast all day, every day. KC24 News is always available at yourcentralvalley.com. KC24 News is brought to you in part by Tachi Palace Casino Resort. Now, AMS certified Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox with your local weather authority forecast.
Well, our temperatures this afternoon were certainly on the cool side, and a lot of that cool air, well, that's the problem we're in right now. And we're going to deal with temperatures at or below freezing for the next several mornings. So this morning in Fresno was 38, so above freezing in town. 53 was our high. That is 10 degrees below normal. We're at 50 now, 48 in Madera, Hanford, Visalia, 49 in Merced, and Lemoore, 44 already in Porterville. Looking at our time-lapse photography from our own Valley Cam, you can see that our skies clearing out very nicely as the sun is going down over the horizon. It's the clear skies that mean we're going to have a little bit of an issue tonight. And so the temperatures are going to get quite cold. Live radar shows the last of the snow dying up into the mountain areas, and the satellite picture, the wider view, shows the center of the low moving away from us and off into Arizona and towards the Rockies. It looks like it's clearing skies coming in behind it, and that clear skies is also delivering the colder air. And so I think tomorrow morning will be the coldest, and then we'll start inching towards warmer temperatures, but that's going to take a little bit of time. We still have a freeze warning, and remember, the freeze warning got extended. It had originally been issued until Friday. Now it goes until Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Our overnight low temperatures tonight. Look at this: 26 in Delano, 28 in Tulare, 25 in Corcoran, 26 in Huron, 5 points, 24 in San Joaquin. That's one of the cold spots. Firebaugh and Dos Palos tie them at 24. 26 in Merced, 25 also in Los Banos. High temperature, 59 in Merced and Chowchilla and Madera, 60 in Firebaugh and Mendota and 5 Points. 58 in Selma, 60 in Huron, same for Kettleman City, 58 in Corcoran, Tulare and Porterville, 57, 56 in Pixley and Delano, 55 degrees. Air quality still in the good range, but Fresno County, you can only have a fire if you've got the registered wood burning device. Your renewable solar forecast. Thursday and Friday, well, clear skies make it cold for us, but it also makes our solar panels really enjoy all that free electricity. Saturday, a little bit of increase in clouds, but still pretty high on those numbers. Tonight, expect an overnight low of 30. That would make it the coldest morning this week, coldest morning this cycle, and then we're going to start getting warmer again. We'll start by getting warmer in the afternoon, 59 under a lot of sunshine during the day. Over the next 7 days, we're looking at more sunshine on Friday, but clear skies, 33 still for Fresno, probably upper 20s in a lot of valley spots. We get a little warmer on Saturday morning. We'll continue the warming trend into next week, despite having varying degrees of cloudiness. We're going to stay dry, it looks like, for the next several days, but look at those mid-70s coming into the middle of next week. And your regional forecast, that's available on our website at yourcentralvalley.com. So please go check them out there. And still, we're not done quite yet with the snow in the mountain areas, but in the next couple hours, yeah, it'll all be over, and then it's going to be dry.
All right.
A little bit of a roller coaster there.
Yeah, and the temperatures, yeah, hang on to those. Bundle up, I mean, is what I'm telling you.
For a little while.
Be warm for a couple days.
Okay.
All right, still to come on 6:30 here, U.S. officials warn of an invasion in Ukraine, all but certain.
And we're going to have reaction from officials in Washington as the tensions between Russia and Ukraine continue.
I see on KC stories of everyday people making a big difference. I see farmers and ranchers providing food for the nation. The work they do is so vitally important, and that inspires me to make sure they know what to prepare for, from their farm to our tables. We are all connected in the Central Valley. Making an impact, and I invite you to see it all here every day on KC24 News.
KC24 News is brought to you in part by The Bone Store.
Now yourcentralvalley.com, pros who know.
At work, share in the goals of the team. Keep it professional and stay focused on the business, mission, and product, and on your part in making that succeed.
For more expert advice, go to yourcentralvalley.com/pros who know.
Sun up to sundown. Channel your power. Put your power to the best use. Go all in. Valley Unique Electric and Solar. Powering your home. Empowering your finances.
Hello, more winning. At Chukchansi Gold, elevate your game with bigger payouts, better prizes, double endless rewards, and more fun. It's all about winning at Chukchansi. Whether it's winning the People's Choice Awards #1 Best Casino 14 times, or giving our players unforgettable dining experiences at award-winning restaurants like Vintage Steakhouse. There's just no other place where you'll find more winning than here at Chukchansi Gold Resort and Casino.
It's the best time of the year to find the perfect mattress at Sleep More. Inside more furniture for less.
During our President's Day sale, you'll save up to $800 on our top-of-the-line premium adjustable mattress sets from Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Stearns & Foster.
You'll also get 72 months interest-free financing.
Get the well-deserved rest you've been looking for with incredible savings.
More to test. Hey. A great discount today.
This is the place I love, and the place is where my world goes round. I've got my local on. The Central Valley is where I belong. KC24 is where I go. Turn it on and it feels right. Yeah, it feels like home. I've got my local on.
Tired of sketchy service?
At Sky River RV, we hear you. In fact, when you come to Sky River RV, you'll experience our best 5-star service. You'll see it in our lineup of high-quality trailers and motorhomes. Experience it with our no-hassle sales department and appreciate it with our knowledgeable service department. And with our newest store opening this March in Santa Maria, we now have 4 locations to serve you better. Would you like to experience 5-star service? At Sky River RV, we hear you.
Now YourCentralValley.com pros who know.
At work. Professional and stay focused on the business, mission, and product, and on your part in making that succeed.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know.
Next, E.T.
Could you guys go another 20 more seasons?
Only we're with the American Idol judge. Campfire Confessions.
Sometimes I feel overwhelmed by my wardrobe.
Next, E.T.
Entertainment Tonight, weeknights at 7:30 on KC24. This is KC24 News.
Hitting Russia as American officials warn Russian troops are now in position to launch a full-scale invasion, and the world is watching closely.
Hannah Brandt with the latest from Washington.
On Wednesday, President Biden ramped up sanctions, this time targeting the company that built the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline. U.S. defense officials say right now Russian forces on Ukraine's border are ready to invade as soon as they get the order. That's something that concerns lawmakers in Washington.
The attack on the Ukraine by the Russians is an attack on democracy.
The U.S. is now sanctioning the parent company and executives behind the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline after Germany shut down its use on Tuesday. On top of economic sanctions for Russian institutions and elite families, the Biden administration is also considering sanctions on exported goods. California Representative Adam Schiff supports their approach.
We have to make sure that those costs continue and that the Russian people see the costs of their dictators' aggression.
Canada, Japan, and the European Union also announced sanctions against Russia on Wednesday. Ukraine is pleading for continued support from the global community.
Every hour of inaction now is a threat to the lives of Ukrainians.
For now, Russian officials remain undeterred, and the State Department says they expect further invasion.
This is a war that would be brutal, it would be costly, it would be, in many ways, devastating.
The Biden administration says it's working with other countries and with oil producers to try to minimize the impact that sanctions will have on energy prices, both in the U.S. and around the world. In Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
And still to come on KC24 News at 6:30, a Clovis woman survives heart disease against all odds.
Her story of survival right after this.
Is Alec Baldwin's story believable? Did the gun really fire without him pulling the trigger as he claims? Our expert tests his claim. Next, Inside Edition.
Inside Edition tonight at 7 on KC24.
Paul Mitchell, the School Fresno, is proud to be helping future professionals follow their dreams and reach great goals. We can help you pursue your career in cosmetology or barbering, and financial aid is available to those who qualify. Come make it happen now at Paul Mitchell, the School Fresno.
With 4 strips of crispy bacon and rich melty cheese and 2 juicy charbroiled patties. Of course, no meeting can compete with this meat. Give in to the new Double Bacon Beast Burger. Happy.
Because you deserve to be pampered. Because it fits your lifestyle. Because Hand and Stone massages and facials reach deep into your body and soul. Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa.
15 years. State, a tradition for Bulldog fans with stories and moments that matter most. The Bulldog Insider, Sunday on KC24. Sponsored by Fashion Furniture.
It's all coming together. The countdown to fall 2022 will be more rewards, more winning, more everything. Closer to you. The relocation Casino, Eagle Mountain Casino, continues in Porterville. Prepare to win.
Eagle Mountain Casino, Fall 2022.
Hi, Bruce here from Jackson Jewelers, where we buy your old gold. Professionally designed custom pieces, especially. Stop by and see us in Old Town Clovis. Jackson Jewelers, where we treat you like family.
No matter what's happening outside with the Lennox Ultimate Comfort System, it's always perfect inside. Not just perfect air, perfectly tuned to your home air. And operates whisper quiet.
The Lennox Ultimate Comfort System. Perfect air, fully realized. Don't you wish everything was perfect? Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Call Donald P. Dick Air Conditioning today.
For 28 years, Eye on Education has focused on the accomplishments of our schools, teachers, students, and administrators throughout Fresno County. And now, this informative feature is heard daily on KJUL and Kino. Listen for Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, Jim Yavino, sharing stories of success and achievement thanks to the generous support of the Educational Employees Credit Union. Eye on Education, heard daily on KJUL 105.5 and 50,000 watt 940 KYNO.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa. Beast mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Carl's Jr. and feed your happy.
KC24 News is brought to you in part by Jacoby and Mother.
KC24 Sunrise, Gabe Salazar will show us what you need to know if you plan on going up to see the snow this weekend.
Plus, the Harlem Globetrotters. All that and more tomorrow on Sunrise.
A Clovis woman celebrating survival with doctors who saved her life after a close call last summer. Allison Ford had to be taken to Clovis Community Medical Center when she had intense pain in her arm and shoulder. Doctors quickly learned she was in cardiogenic shock and had to be rushed into surgery and get a heart pump. And just when things were starting to look grim, Allison's condition started to improve.
Words really can't even express what happened to me and how lucky I was to be able to come out of it the way that I did.
She improved enough so the doctors were able to safely remove that heart pump. In all, she spent 12 days in the hospital before she was finally released home to her family, and she looks very healthy now.
Yeah. And warm. She's got her coat on, and we're all going to need a coat tonight.
Yeah, I got to say, those little fleece sweaters aren't going to cut it for the next couple of mornings. Got to have a real good coat, blanket, some good shoes, the whole thing. It's going to be very cold. Next several mornings, we're under a freeze warning, and that freeze warning got extended. It was originally issued until Friday, and now it's until Saturday. Once we get into Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, the increase in clouds, that's going to help bring our temperatures up into the lower 40s, and they'll continue to track up. And our afternoon high temperatures, even with clouds here and there next week, are going to track up as well, getting back into the mid-70s. So if we can get through these next few very cold days, we're going to be all right.
It's going to look good next week.
Yeah, it should be very comfortable as March starts.
All right, that's going to do it for us.
We'll be back at 11. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
15 years of exclusive coverage inside Fresno State. A tradition for Bulldog fans with stories and moments that matter most. The Bulldog Insider, Sunday on KC24. Sponsored by Fashion Furniture.
Attention. This message is for the survivors of abuse by the Catholic Church. Many states have extended the window to file a claim for victims of childhood sexual abuse. It doesn't matter how long ago it happened.
If you or someone you love were a victim of sexual abuse by a priest, any employee, or other Catholic Church official, now is the time to hold these abusers accountable. We are here to help. Call Right to Fight now for a free and confidential consultation regarding your case.
800-926-3043.
You could be eligible for financial compensation after years of suffering in silence. Remember, you are not alone. More survivors are stepping forward every day to help stop the abuse.
If you or a family member were a victim of abuse by an authority figure in the Catholic Church, stand up for your justice and make the confidential free call to Right to Fight now.
800-926-3043.
Time to file in your state may be limited due to strict deadlines. Your claim may not be accepted if you wait.
Valley Unique Electric and Solar. Powering your home. Powering your business. Powering your community. And empowering your finances. Valley Unique Electric and Solar. Call us at 237-4795.
Disaster and damage can strike anytime. It's good to know the professionals at Servpro have the training and equipment to get your life back on the right track. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, for restoration and cleaning, count on Servpro of Clovis, Visalia, Fresno, and Shaver.
This is a pepperoni lover's dream. Me and Ed's triple threat pepperoni pizza is stacked high with original Italian pepperoni, thick cut diced pepperoni, and spicy cup pepperoni. Get a large triple threat pepperoni pizza or any 3-topping pizza for just $16.50. Me and Ed's.
Now YourCentralValley.com, pros who know.
The right workspace makes working from home more convenient and productive. Let the experts at Closets by Design create a stylish and efficient home office for you.
For more expert